Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another special episode of Live with Chuck Cassidy on this Thursday night. We've got a lot of special guests. I'm glad you're here. Don't go anywhere, Grab a warm drink. It's cold where I am. It's probably cold where you are. And let's have ourselves a nice chat about all things schooly, what we're gonna do this summer. We'll answer some questions. I'll share a tool with you. You don't want to go anywhere, so make yourself comfortable. Here we go. Well, for those of you just joining us, welcome. If this is your first live chat with yours truly, also welcome. Just to get things out of the way to start with, I'll be holding my phone so I can keep an eye on the chat because I'm here to engage with you. And you are also my quality control people. So as I run this one-man live production, let me know if there's any issues with the audio, the video, whatever, and I'll try to fix them in real time. But keep in mind, I'm a professional bus builder, not a professional YouTuber yet. Anyways, welcome aboard, everybody. My name's Chuck Cassidy. I've been building and converting school buses since 2014 professionally, and I've been working with buses, making a living off buses since like 2007. Started a party bus company. One thing leads to another. You follow your mom's advice. You're on HGTV. The next thing you know, it's your job to make people's dreams a reality so they can hit the road in an off-grid school bus. Sounds pretty good, huh? Tonight we have several treat especials planned for you. The first one, aside from my pretty face, is a good friend of mine, somebody who is really like a brother from another mother, although aren't we all from the same beautiful Mother Earth, you know what I'm saying? His name's Brock Butterfield. He is the founder of a little thing called Bus Life Adventure, which has been a staple in the bus community since I got my start back in, well, my start on social media back in like 2015. And he's just an all-around good human who puts on, honestly, my favorite organized bus festival that I've ever been to, and it's called the Bus Fair. And he's here to talk about it today. We've got a special giveaway actually planned, so you don't want to miss out on hearing his take on his special fair. And you really don't want to miss out on that giveaway because it's a $300 value, so stick around for that part of the build. I'm just peeking in. Everything looks good. Thank you all for being here. In addition to that, we've got the weekly tool du jour, which is the tool of the day. And of course, it wouldn't be a Chuck Live if we didn't wrap things up with a Q&A until time runs out. And to be honest, that's one of my favorite things because you get to just throw all of your questions at me. A lot of them I've heard before, but hey, I'll answer them again because I'm live and I'm at service to you. So, without further ado, welcome to my shop. Again, my name's Chuck Cassidy, and I thought I would start tonight off by getting into a topic that is near and dear to my heart, and it's something that I will be doing in the coming weeks, and that is, how the heck do you go and pick up a bus sight unseen across the country and drive it back? What do you got to know about a bus? And what are some things about something very specific to buses that you should acquaint yourself with? And that is the air brake system. So on Monday morning, I catch a very early flight to Portland to pick up a 30-foot flat front short school bus, sight unseen, and drive that puppy. It's, I think, 1,300 or 1,400 miles all the way back to my shop here in Denver to have a good time with it. I'm really excited about this bus. It's an early 90s Bluebird. It's an all-mechanical Cummins engine, less than 110,000 miles. But the real secret sauce is that the previous owner of this bus, who ended up not building it out because something else caught his eye, he went to the trouble of changing the rear differential gears. And if you watch my video this Sunday, you'll know about changing these rear diffs, how important it is and how drastically it changes the whole feel of a vehicle. He changed these gears so that this bus will now theoretically attain speeds of over 100 miles an hour, which is ridiculous. I will never drive it that fast. But It means that if you're cruising along at 65 miles an hour, instead of that engine just roaring, ripping at redline, it'll be purring along at about 1900 RPMs, right in the maximum torque of its power curve, which is where an engine is always most efficient. It'll save your ears, it'll save your money, and it'll save your engine, and it's an upgrade a lot of schoolie converters don't even know anything about. And I'm excited to share with you how important that is and how drastically it changes the ride of that vehicle. And the way that the previous owner did it, he spent, I think, nearly $5,000 doing it because he used all new gears. Now, you don't have to do that, but he did because I think he's got deep pockets. And that's why I'm excited to become the next owner of his project, because it's got some really sweet upgrades and it truly is a unicorn. And if you don't know me, I only mess with unicorns, you know, because I am one. Anyway, I'll be picking things up with that, but I want to go over, so I'm flying out, I'm picking up a bus. A lot of people, you know, if you're getting your start in bus life, you might find a bus, and oftentimes it's the best way to find a bus by looking well outside of your typical search area. If you live in the desert Southwest or somewhere where there isn't a lot of rust, you might not need to look too far to find a great bus for yourself. But if you're very picky, or if you want a bus with no rust and you happen to live in a rusty area, you might find yourself in a situation where you have to fly maybe 1,000 or more miles to pick up a bus and drive it back. And in my opinion, it's not money wasted, okay, to pay the additional travel and transport expenses to buy a bus that doesn't have rust problems. I hate rust. Okay, I am uncompromising on my disdain for rust. I will never buy a rusty bus. I will never suggest buying a rusty bus. It's a horrible idea because any money that you think you're saving will quickly evaporate from your pocket as you embark on the conversion process. You'll tear up that floor and find holes, and that is going to be demoralizing, and it will deflate the volume of your wallet very fast. So in my opinion, if you don't have local buses that are not rusty or that don't meet your needs, widen that search area, because unless you're driving like, you know, clear across, like literally across the country, the money you spend on transportation and fuel will never match what you are going to spend on rust mitigation and remediation. It is incredibly expensive. And the thing about rust is that once you have it, once your bus has rust, the best thing you can do is slow it down. You know, you can grind it and paint over it, and that'll make you feel good, right? Warm fuzzies, it's not going to stop the rust from ultimately being what is the nail in your bus's coffin down the line. So some of the things that I think are most important to understand before you get out there and drive this bus back. If you've never driven a bus before, the odds are good that your bus has air brakes. Air brakes are the standard on large buses. They're my preferred stopping method for big vehicles because the nice thing about an air brake system is that it relies on pressurized air to apply the brakes. So normally, like in a hydraulic system, like you and I all know how to drive in our cars, you push on the brake pedal and that pushes hydraulic fluid out that activates your calipers that squeeze the rotors, or your wheel cylinders that push the shoes out against the drums of the wheel. It's a great system. When you have a bus, however, there is a thing called air brakes that are a lot more safe and reliable for the following reasons. On a hydraulic brake vehicle, when you have a hydraulic leak, the only backup stopping power that you have is pulling the emergency brake. And unless that's in great shape and really well adjusted, you're not going to get full stopping power pulling that emergency brake. The same thing is true on hydraulic brake equipped buses. On an air brake equipped bus, one of the cool things about it is that the emergency brake system will only release the brakes and allow you to drive if the air brake system that you use for stopping the bus has enough air pressure built up to let you drive it safely. So it's inherently safe. And if you're going down the road and suddenly that system springs a leak and you lose all of your air brake stopping pressure, it will actually automatically apply your emergency parking brakes and stop the bus. Granted, stopping the bus in the middle of traffic on the highway is not cool, but I would say, given the choice between discovering you don't have brakes when you go to apply them, and all the chaos or damage or loss of life that could ensue is far better than having them come on unexpectedly when you're on the highway. And the truth is, all air brake systems have an alarm system to let you know if the air brake pressure is dropping, which would give you more than enough time to pull off the road before those emergency brakes set up. So, my advice to anybody who's never driven an air brake equipped vehicle, before you fly out, as I will do on Monday morning to pick out this bus, acquaint yourself with the operating principles of how a commercial air brake system works. There's a million videos out there, and it will be very educating and edifying as to how to operate and also diagnose and troubleshoot issues on that air brake system so that you can drive home safely. One of the big drawbacks of an air brake system is that they're very sensitive and you don't get any feedback through the pedal like you do on a hydraulic system, but you'll get used to that. The big advantage is that you can drive that system safely with small leaks and not have any degradation in braking performance. And I really love and appreciate that. The other nice thing is, because it's using compressed air, it means you have an air compressor and an air tank full of compressed air that you can tap into and use to inflate your tires, run air tools. You might also have an air operated seat that has air suspension in it because of that. There are a lot of advantages, and that's one of the reasons why on my short bus, even though it's at the size where you could often find one with hydraulic brakes, I'm very grateful and glad that it has air brakes, because I'm an air brake guy. You know, I was a professional bus driver for over 10 years, and once you get used to air brakes, hydraulic brakes are just kind of a joke, in my opinion. I'll get on my soapbox, you know, cue the music, put me on the soapbox. Real buses have air brakes. Okay, and unless you have a short bus built on like an E450 chassis or something, where the only option is hydraulic brakes, air brakes are my #1 choice. So that's my little intro, it's my little rant, and make sure you catch my videos in the next coming weeks where I show you what it's like to buy a bus, you know, 1,500 miles away, arrange the pickup of the bus, and help you understand what documents and insurance and things you need to get that thing back home, because that is probably one of the most often asked questions I see out there in the forums, and it doesn't have to be complicated. It is a straightforward thing, and as long as you have insurance, in general, the authorities are going to be pretty understanding and lenient with you if you know what you're doing. So thank you for being here and hearing my rant. So it looks like I'm just going to take a look at the comments because we're changing segments there, and looks like we're doing pretty good. Yeah, okay, Scott has 1,000 hours repairing rust on his bus in 10 gauge steel. That's an 1/8 of an inch thick, if not more. So that's amazing. Oh, Scott has a 1949. You know what's cool though, Scott? Do you have an international? I'm curious to know what you got. You know, the steel that they were using in vehicles back then was so much thicker. It's amazing. If you go to a junkyard that has things like Model Ts and Model As and other cars from right around the First World War, the steel they were using was so thick, and that I think it was called high vanadium steel. It gets like a initial coating of rust and then it stops, and that's amazing. I have a 1973 International Scout, and that thing rusts if I look at it sideways. So I'll just answer a couple questions real quick. Noah Lomax, would you have to obtain a special license for a rig with air brakes? That is something you should call your local jurisdictions to understand. I know in Colorado, once a bus is retitled as an RV, it's insane, but they don't care. If it has air brakes, they don't care. If it's 100,000 pounds, they don't care. As long as it's an RV, they're cool with you doing whatever. And that's alarming, but you know, hey, it's cool. In other states, even if it's an RV, if it has air brakes, they want to see you have an air brake endorsement on your license. And I think that that's a very reasonable ask. Air brake systems are quite different from conventional systems. The nice thing though is that if the system isn't operating properly, like 90% of the time it will actually keep you from operating the vehicle, because it won't build up enough air pressure to release the brakes, because an air brake system, as I said earlier, it requires a certain amount of air pressure to release the brakes, and if it doesn't have that, it will either not release the brakes or it will set the emergency brakes if you're already moving. So So here we go. Um, there is the cost of converting to air brakes from hydraulic is astronomical. Just buy a different bus. Okay, so I think it's time that I bring because it's been about 15 minutes. We've been goofing around, and I've got a very special guest coming in tonight. As I said earlier, his name is Brock Butterfield, my special Brock BB. He is the person who started Bus Life Adventure. He's someone who's been in the bus life community. Uh, well, he was there when I got here, so I know he and I have been in it for a long time. And he has taken that to a new level by putting on a festival called the Bus Fair. It's something I went to in 2019. As we all know, there was a little thing called COVID that got in the way of that for the last couple of years, but it's back this year, and I'm so excited to be attending. Me and a lot of my best friends are going to be there, and not just be there, but be giving seminars and talks. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him in here. Let's give my friend Brock Butterfield a warm welcome. Here he is, coming live to us all the way from, I believe, snowy Oak Ridge, Oregon. Brock, how are you doing? Great to see you. Welcome to Live with Chuck.
Hey, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm good. I was actually, in the green room listening to you talk about rust and air brakes and shaking my head at a lot of the mistakes I've made with buying rusty buses.
That's how you know you've been in it for a while, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So Brock, you have a really cool story of what brought you to bus life because I think like myself, we got into bus life out of necessity. We were using buses as a way to execute our professional professions in a
Yeah.
way, it seemed to be the right tool for the job. And I think your story is definitely worth sharing. So how did you, what got you into bus life, and how did you parlay that into, bus life adventure and now the bus fair?
Yeah. As you're asking me about that, I got to think about all the way to where it probably started, which was I had a battle. And it almost made me kick the bucket. And that was kind of the changing point of my life and realizing that I didn't want to be an IT guy in the dungeon working for a corporation anymore. And I wanted to pursue a career in professional snowboarding, something that I always had a passion for and always did on my free time. So with that, I was traveling a lot in the wintertime and sleeping in my truck. And it was a little uncomfortable. I wanted something that was a little more spacious, and I had this really good idea to pitch a documentary to my sponsors that I was going to take a school bus and convert it into a little tiny home with a deck on the back for snowmobiles. No experience whatsoever besides some carpentry growing up, no fabrication experience, and just went for it and lived in a short school bus with 72 square feet with five other guys during the winter, no insulation in the bus, just a wood stove. And then after the documentary got over, that kind of transitioned into people asking a lot of questions. And this was back in about 2014. Hey, where did you get your wood stove? Where did you buy your bus? How did you insure it? And after answering so many emails with just a copy and paste with the same answers, I realized there's a need for a website with some resources. And that's kind of where Bus Life Adventure morphed from a documentary into a resource website. And then fast forward many years later, and people were starting to ask, where can I sell or find buses for sale? And we opened up our classifieds on the website, which is probably the most traffic we get on the website right now, are people selling and looking for buses to buy, whether blank buses are already converted. And then after that, a lot of people started asking, hey, I've converted a schoolie. Where do I go to meet other schoolie people? And I started mentioning Schoolie Palooza and Schoolie Swarm. But they were looking for a little bit more than that. And that's where I had the idea to create an event that would capture everything that some of these people were looking for. So we decided to create the bus fair, and that was a one-day event in 2019. It had camping, live music, food vendors, art vendors, some seminars on stage, and it went really, really well. We had people come from 27 different states and 3 different Canadian provinces. And it was about over 1,200 people showed up for this 1 day event in the little town of Oak Ridge, Oregon. So fast forward to now, after COVID, we're planning a 3 day event where Friday of the weekend, before the weekend, is going to be nothing but educational seminars for the whole day, limited to 150 people. They get a tour of the buses that are on display, and learn from 7 different seminars on everything you want to know to get started on converting a bus. So the Saturday and Sunday of the event this year, we're going to have open to the main public to come and tour the buses. We have up to 30 different school buses coming from all over, and art and food vendors and live music, and then the after hours party, which always ends up being a lot of fun with lasers and music and all sorts of neat things. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to you being out there teaching, the seminar. Well, you're teaching a couple of seminar classes, if I remember right now. So it'll be
That's
good to have
right.
you out, and hopefully we'll get more people.
Yeah. Thank you for that good description, Brock. um, yeah. So, you know, one thing I love about this, me and Brock, we got into bus life um, out of necessity, I would say. And what's really cool is, to see his trajectory and my trajectory kind of mirror each other, trying to, I think, just find ways to help people get into this along the way. And one thing I really like about Bus Life Adventure, which is Brock's, website company. I don't. What would we call that, Brock? A
I'd,
super
I would I would call it a community.
community.
It's
Ah, good idea.
yeah, community. Yeah,
um, you know, we're community oriented or community minded people, and Brock was like, I'm going to get out there and help as many people as I can, sharing all kinds of information and resources. And then my approach was like, well, um, I'm not as savvy, frankly, on the internet as Brock is, but I do know how to build a bus. And so we started our journeys as being kind of public ambassadors of bus life goodwill. At the same time, and I had the opportunity to be at the first bus fair in 2019, and I know Alyssa, if you follow her, Regretless, she was there too. That was actually the first time I met her, and she became a really important person in my life. She's also a really, I think, important person, also an important woman in bus life, because we could always use more female voices out there, uh, talking about what it's like to be a person who chooses to take this on and then travel solo on the road. And everybody at Bus Fair 2019 was somebody, everyone I met, honest to God, is somebody that I've stayed in touch with who has become a significant person in my life. And what makes me the most excited about the Bus Fair this year, not just the simple fact that it's happening again, honestly, but we're going to have the opportunity, because I gave we didn't call them seminars quite, Brock, but I did give a
right,
presentation about, I was talking about the carbon footprint of bus life,
right.
because I think it's worth discussing, because you know what, the life in the bus can be solar powered, but the travel of the bus isn't. And I wanted people to understand just what that impact looks like, and then if that impact is too big for you, how to mitigate that. So that was fun. But now we get the chance to give a more in-depth, specific seminar on various topics, and I'll be giving some, and Alyssa will actually be giving one, and I think Alyssa's is probably one of the most beneficial ones, because I think, I don't remember exactly what it's called, and Brock, if I'm wrong, let me know. But
Yeah,
she's going to be talking about more the logistics about what it means to travel and live off the road, on the road. Well,
yeah,
you're living on the road, but you're actually like sleeping off the road, right? Finding places to camp
right.
and how to navigate that space. And I know Alyssa's here in the chat. She's probably going to say some things about that as well, because her as a solo female traveler, um, I don't know anybody traveling on the road who is more acute of their safety and their surroundings and how to do things in a way that feel comfortable than a woman traveling alone. Unfortunately, it's just the case that you know, our world is not the safest place for women all the time. And I'm really grateful that she's giving that talk from her perspective, because I think that will be the most in tune version of that you're going to get. And I truly hope that, a lot of women who are considering doing this alone feel empowered, if you attend that talk. Or, Brock, I've heard that we're eventually going to be publishing or posting those seminars online too for people to watch at some point. It certainly won't be
Yeah.
immediate, but that's good content that I think people need to know, and I hope it gives people the information they need to have the courage to feel like they can approach this lifestyle and dive in, because I think my goal and Brock's goal at the end of the day is to help people who've decided they want to live this life, to help them figure out how to do it in a way that's best for them, and also show them a community that's like, we're here, ready to give you a big bear hug when you
Yeah.
show up, and make you feel safe and welcomed. And God, I mean, I feel like my whole life now is filled with the people I've met in this community, and my friends are pretty cool. In fact, I've got one of them on my YouTube live right now with me.
Yeah, as you say that too, that's reminding me of kind of the basis behind the whole day of educational seminars and the bus fare in general.
Yeah,
With if people are really interested in this lifestyle and they really want to come and learn, a lot about it, we're some of the oldest and I'm gonna throw it out there, best people, yeah, in the nicest way to say that, um, to come and hang out with and to ask us questions and
yeah,
just spend that one-on-one time with us. So yeah, we'll have these seminars up later online, but the real experience, if you really want to be involved with the community and learn, is to come to the bus fair and just rub shoulders with the rest of us and hang out and just talk and get to know us, after hours and ask us questions about anything you may have bus related. We probably one of us probably has an answer for
yeah. I couldn't agree more with you on that, especially when, I don't know if, I'm sure everyone's had this experience, but like, you can spend so much time on the internet looking for answers to questions, and there is just no replacement to talking to somebody in real life. And you can ask questions and you can riff and you can understand. If you ask a question online, you could get 1,000 answers to the same question, and they might all be right, but they're all coming from different points of view. And what I love, like, really about meeting people in real life and getting to engage directly, when they give you the answer to the question, you understand where that answer is coming from, why, and you get the story behind why they have adopted this understanding of reality, and you get the context. And that's what I love, because there are people online who, they live bus life and they're hardcore. They'll take a bus, basically throw a rug down and strap a couch to it and just be, roughing it, but like going everywhere. And maybe it works for them. And if you ask for advice on the internet, like, should I insulate my bus? They might be like, nah, you don't need that. You're fine. Well, if you meet them in real life, you're like, well, I couldn't really live that way. Whereas, you might get a result online where someone's like, oh, you got to insulate to the max. And you meet that person in your life, and like, oh, I identify with this person's lifestyle more. And so their answer makes more sense for me, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of ways to do this lifestyle. And Brock and I have both, I think we've done it. Uh, we've covered the spectrum pretty well, I would say, my friend. Um, you know, Lots of young dudes in a uninsulated bus, just doing the thing. I think we've both been there. Brock was a pro snowboarder, and I was a touring musician, and I wouldn't change any of that for the world. But knowing what I know now, I would not try to make it as a pro musician. But I would also insulate my bus, and so that's why insulation is so important to me. And I think Brock now, he's got He's got a family, and I know his recent bus. It has a few more amenities, right, than his first one did, and I think it's important as you're out there collecting information and figuring out if this lifestyle is right for you to hear every story and also know who wrote every story and why their experience is that way. And going to something like the bus fair is super cool. And I mean, I gotta say, like, Oak Ridge is a really pretty place to be in mid-June. I don't know if it gets a whole lot better. And for those of you who see that the festival, it's a relatively short festival, but I know from talking with Brock that there's going to be some. I don't know how limited the space is, but there's going to be some extended stay camping available to us because I plan on hanging out for the rest of the week following that. And I don't know, Brock, how much space is available there for people who want to hang out for the rest of the week? And does it cost anything? And what does that look like? Because I think Oak Ridge really, it's a pretty sweet destination outside of the bus fare because it's very close to Mother Nature. It's a pretty rad little small town. I know there's some really good Chinese food because I had it last time I was there. But and there's a great pub, and there's a really good coffee
Yeah.
shop I've heard about there that might be worth visiting. I'm just saying.
Yeah, so Oak Ridge is it's about 45 minutes outside of Eugene, Oregon, and it's in the middle of the Cascades, up in the Willamette National Forest. It was an old logging town, and the sawmills pulled out in about the early 90s, if I remember, and town went from about 9,000 people to roughly 3,000 people. So town has struggled with revitalizing that economy, and with that, they've discovered that they have some of the best mountain biking trails to offer out there. So they've done a big job at maintaining the trails and bringing people for mountain biking, but that's not just the only thing Oak Ridge has to offer. There's so much more out in the woods. A lot of mushroom foraging that I do. There's a lot of swimming holes, hiking, waterfalls. The third clearest lake in the world is just a few minutes away from Oak Ridge.
Wow.
It truly is a special place, and I've been working with the city to offer what we're probably going to brand as Linger Longer, and this is the first time we're kind of talking about it. So this is exclusive to Chuck Cassidy's
Ooh.
followers. Um, we're we're branding it as Linger Longer, and it's going to be a whole week after the bus fair. That if anybody would like to stay, the city and I are working together to kind of carve out space on the old sawmill site, where it's a short bike ride to the Uptown Historic District. But it's looking like probably $10 a day for the whole week. You could stay and camp there. You got to be completely self-contained and off-grid, but we will have some porta potties and hand washing stations. But that way, you could really just hang out outside of a busy event and explore the town, explore the pub, the coffee shops, all the hiking trails. Just kind of a way for everybody to, hey, we're going to go up to the swimming hole on 3 Mile of the North Fork today. Anybody that wants to go, we're leaving it, leaving it too. So definitely extending that experience of the bus fare and meeting people within the community, but just more at everyone's own pace for a whole week to just kind of chill and relax and enjoy the beautiful Willamette National Forest that's still a bit undiscovered. And while there is a bit of that, I see gatekeeping going on social media of like not telling people about all these amazing places. For me, they're public lands, and I would feel very selfish on my deathbed if I didn't get to share, all the magic that this place has to offer with people.
Oh man, yeah, Brock. I appreciate that a lot. Um, I think that is one of the hallmarks of not just you as a person, but the bus fare in general is a spirit of generosity and inclusiveness. And I think that is, gosh, you know, if there are some words that I want associated to what bus life is all about, those two are at the top of the list, I would say, and I'm getting emotional, but that's that's not that's what it's all about for me, and that's why I love the bus fare so much. I mean, Schoolie Palooza is great. It's a totally different thing. You can't even compare them, and they both represent different ends of the spectrum. And what I love about the bus fair is it shows, Schoolie Palooza is like, yeah, we can go off in the desert with no permits on public land and live there and peacefully cohabitate with like 1,500 people and do it for a week and everything's chill and that's great. And it's not the most scenic place in the world, in my opinion. And the bus fare to me is a representation of like, well, what if we organize our powers for good and think about and practice all of the ways that we can help each other, we can educate each other, we can experience some truly amazing natural beauty, support a small town community, and get to know each other in a context that is, I mean, I'll say it this way because I don't know how to say it, but like a little more refined and has a little more of a focused purpose. And they're both totally valid. And I'm very happy to say that I love attending them both. And yeah, it means a lot. Our friendship means a lot to me. The bus fare means a lot to me. And it's important for me to share that with all of you because it's something I really like. And I'm going to be there. And if you want to come hang out with me and Brock or Alyssa or any of the other awesome people that are going to be up there, I know Wes is going to be there. He's the fella who has a shop in Wichita, Dark Wolf Artisans, that are buying all of my tools. And it's kind of funny because we kind of all got into this like a really long time ago. And I love the full circle nature and how community oriented it is. So Brock, thank you for being here, man. We've ripped we've
Hey,
ripped long and hard, and we could do this forever. And by the way, if you go to the bus fair, I just have to say that the after hours party was a lot of fun last year. It's not crazy. It's just a really friggin' good time. And I love Brock, the DJ. Is it true that the DJ is the local sheriff or something like that? What's the story there?
he, he has since been promoted to the city administrator, but yes, he was one of our police officers. But he has his own DJ setup, and he'll be there again this year. He's DJ
Yeah.
Cuffs and stuff.
I mean,
So,
how cool is that? That's amazing.
yeah.
What I love about this, and it's a testament to how I hope the world understands schoolie people is like we're maybe outside the box, we're maybe rebellious, but I think most of us, we still want to belong and we still want to participate and be a part of a community. And I love the way that the bus fare is such a part of the local community, and that feels good being there. You don't feel like you're there as some kind of outcast or you're unwanted or something, and that feels really good because in a lot of places in this country, someone living in a bus showing up in a small town might not always be received by the local law enforcement with something like a dance party. So that's
Yeah.
that's a feel good moment. So Brock, thank you for being here tonight. I'm going to let you go. I know it's Heidi, his partner's birthday, and you guys should probably go enjoy yourselves before you have to get out of Oak Ridge. So, thank you, Brock.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody else being here watching us live with Chuck Cassidy. Brock, we will see you. Well, we'll see you when we see you next, huh?
Yeah. And, I realized before I sign off, I should probably tell everybody when the bus fair is.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's June 23rd through the 25th. So that's a Friday through a Sunday. And you can find out more information on the busfair.com as well as volunteers. We need volunteers, and we give away free camping, free educational seminars, and main entry tickets for people that are looking to volunteer and help out a lot. So if you're interested, just go to the busfair.com, check out more.
That sounds great, Brock. Well, thank you again for being here. It means the world to us. And thank you for everything you do in the community. We will see you next time. Brock, we'll let you go now, buddy. Have a good night.
All right, see you, Chuck.
All right, that means you're stuck with me, boring Chuck Cassidy. But thank you so much to Brock Butterfield for joining us tonight. Please, if it's anything that's something of interest to you, take a look. I've got the link in the doodly doo right down here. Follow it, and we'd love to see you at the bus fair. It's going to be a good time. I know. I've got it on good intelligence that the tickets will probably sell out because it can't be that big. And honestly, all of my favorite bus people are going to be there. So I think you should probably, find a way to make it work if it's something that interests you. In other news, I think it's time to probably move on to the next segment of the show. But before we get there, I happened to see a comment um, in the comments section, and because I can't resist picking a scab when one shows up, some fella named MC said like, you guys aren't even like a licensed contractor or some bullshit. MC, you should just leave, pal, because I'm pretty sure if you wanted to come out here, I could prove to you that not only am I licensed and insured, but I have the skills to know what I'm talking about. So if you haven't found the exit, please find it yourself. I don't like those kind of comments. They're not productive to our community, and they're not very generative in general. Um, I am like a bus converter. I know it probably drives you crazy, but I got here because I've spent a lot of time working hard, paying for insurance, and becoming certified in the things I need to be certified in. So if anyone sees MC comment on here, make sure you let them know that that kind of BS doesn't really stand around here. And I'm going to continue on with my next favorite segment of the show, which is the tool du jour. And I think anybody, especially MC, if you're still listening, you'll appreciate this one because if you do precision work, if you find yourself in situations where you need to ask for custom machined pieces, maybe wheel adapters, maybe you're trying to size a fastener, trying to size a bore, trying to just get an accurate measurement of any kind, you'll find this piece of equipment or tooling essential. And that piece, my friend, is the caliper. Yes, it's maybe the most, um, I don't know, overlooked, misunderstood, underappreciated tools. I think a lot of people look at something like this and they're like, damn, that reminds me of science class that I failed in middle school or high school. And I don't blame you for feeling that way. It's a really intimidating measuring device. It's intimidating because of the degree of precision that it promises to give you. And I think a lot of people feel like they're unworthy of knowing that kind of precision when they measure something. And I'm here to tell you precision is something that we all should embrace and we all deserve. And what I love about this is it's a tool that you can buy. This one is made by EA Gems, for whatever that's worth. I bought several on Amazon before I landed on this one that I really like, and it was under 30 bucks. It is extremely handy though when you find yourself measuring things that you need a high degree of precision on that are hard to measure with something like a typical tape measure. And I know a lot of you will say, well, you can build a whole bus conversion without one of these. And you're right, you probably can. I know I built my first couple without one. But this is the kind of tool, like many others that I love on Tool du Jour, where when you do have it in your arsenal, you'll realize that you use it a lot more than you ever imagined when you bought it off the shelf. Keep it in your back pocket because it's your friend. This particular unit is a digital one, so that's cool. Makes it easy for people who have a hard time, telling time on clocks. What I really like too is it can do millimeters, it can do inches, it can do inch fractional, which is hilarious because it will give you truly like absurd results on the inch fractional thing. So like, 11/16, that's not too crazy. 55/64, that's feeling kind of nuts. 1 and a 32nd, not sure how useful that is, but you push this button and all of a sudden we know in millimeters it's 26.25, so almost 26 and a quarter. That's not too crazy, right? Uh, we can go here. It's 1.0335 inches. So I love these. They're cheap. One thing I think I want to embody with the tool du jour are cheap tools that make a big difference, that maybe pay for themselves in a single use. And if you're someone who lives maybe far away from a hardware store, using a tool like this to size a hose, a pipe, a fastener, it can save you a lot of trouble. I know, man, I'll tell you what, I use this at least once a week and sometimes every day, depending on the week and what my projects are. So I really recommend it to you. It's a fun tool to have. It's great for measuring certain things. You can get inside diameters using that, you can get outside diameters using this, and there's no end to which knowing the exact measurements of something can be useful to you. If you're looking for a gift idea, hey, that's a good choice too. So anyway, that is the tool du jour. I hope you find it useful. I hope you find it interesting. I know it's nothing special. I'm not trying to come out here with a tool du jour that's $3,000 because I could do that, right? Like the forklift that you see um, right here next to me. That's an amazing tool. I love using that thing, but I don't think it's reasonable to ask, you folks at home to go buy yourself a forklift. Or maybe it isn't. I don't know. You tell me. So looks like we got about 10 minutes left. I want to thank you all for being here and joining me. Brock is a really close friend of mine, and I'm not blowing smoke when I say that the bus fair is a really special event, and it's worth your while to figure out a way to make it happen if you can. With that in mind, I want to tell you about the giveaway that I have this week. There was a very generous donor, somebody who had bought tickets to attend the bus fair and to go to the seminars, and they let Brock know that they wouldn't be making it to the seminars, and they asked me to give those away to somebody deserving of such a thing. So, in that spirit, tonight I will be giving away 2 seats to the bus fair seminars. Now, these aren't tickets to the whole bus fair, they're just the seminars. It's a $300 value. And if you want to join us, not only will you get the opportunity to attend the entire day of seminars featuring me, Wes from Dark Wolf Artisans, and Regretless on how to live in your schoolie and camp off grid, but you will also get special private tourings of all of the exhibition buses without the general public. So it's a $300 value. It's for 2 people. And if that is something that you would like to be eligible to win, make sure that you first buy tickets to attend the bus fair and have your travel accommodations arranged. And then in the comments section of tonight's video, just let me know your real name, okay? And I will be announcing the winner, chosen at randomly, to receive the 2 complimentary tickets to attend the seminars and the private tours at the bus fair in Oak Ridge, Oregon in June of 2023 on next week's live. And I got to tell you, if this had been available the first year, I'm sure it would have sold out very fast because tours are great, but there's nothing better about a tour than getting to have the person who made it or the person who lived in it have them one on one and ask them questions about things. Because when you're touring with the general public, there's no guarantee that you're going to get that one on one time. And also, the fact that you get to attend all the seminars. If you're really serious about doing the bus life thing, these seminars will be invaluable. I know what the topics are, I know the people who are going to be presenting them, and I'm honored to be alongside them. And I'm also very excited to be sharing the information that will be given in all of those topics. Like, you don't want to miss it. It's free. So buy your tickets, find your travel partner, and let me know your name in the comments section. We'll let these build up over the week, and I will pick one at random to receive these 2 tickets to attend the Friday bus fair seminars. So drop that in there, and thank you for the generous donation of those tickets. I guess that means it is time for us to go ahead and open this up for the last 7 minutes to the Q&A, and I know that's why you're all here. And I'm going to go ahead and just open my brain up and let you all look inside, and I will answer all of your deepest questions. I'll have a drink first. About bus life, anything you think I can help you with, throw those in the chat, and let's do this for the next 7 minutes. And again, thank you all for being here. I'm just a one-man band trying to put on a show where I share all of my information to folks like you as easily as possible. So bring your questions. If I don't get enough, I'll tell you what, I'll get out of here because I got a pizza to eat and it's cold out. I hope everyone's having a good evening, by the way. I know also there were some questions in the beginning of this chat. I will try to scroll up and find them. I wonder what happened to our guy MC who thought I was like some kind of jerk off with no skills or whatever. So, do they make a mini split small enough for an Econoline cargo van conversion? That's a great question. Right now, they don't. I mean, you could probably fit one in there, but it's going to take up a lot of space, especially the exterior condenser unit. They're just big right now. I do know Pioneer has come out though recently with like an all-in-one unit that's designed to be installed in like an RV or something. Go check it out. It's a 9,000 BTU, 120 volt unit that I think you could pretty easily incorporate under a bench seat. It's a little bit different than your conventional mini split, but it is going to be more efficient than a rooftop air conditioner. So I think that's probably a good thing to look into. So I would say check that out. But outside of that option from Pioneer, it's tough. And one thing I do like about Pioneer, they do not shy away from the mobile crew. They sponsored a video that I actually did with Brock where we showed how to install one of their mini splits on a bus, and they will not deny warranty claims as long as you install it correctly on a bus or an RV, and that's really cool. I don't know any other mini split companies that are so receptive and accommodating toward people who choose to install them on vehicles. So, oh, now we got questions. Oh, God, I opened the floodgates. Any insight on galvanized versus galvannealed steel? Well, galvannealed is the best, man. The annealing process makes it accept paint and primer better. Excuse me. And if you have to bend it, it's going to bend better. So go with that. Big shout out to Owner Builders Unite. Matt, you're the man. We miss you so much, buddy, but we're so glad to see you finish that diesel conversion. If you're in the know, you know. Do you know how to add 10 20 more horsepower on a 5.9 12 out without rolling coal? No, Noah, yeah. You gotta move your fuel plate forward. That's how you do it. You might start rolling coal, but you can move that fuel plate forward pretty far and get easily way more than 10 to 20 horsepower before you're rolling coal. Panel bond or 3M 5200 for sealing panel to panel along with rivets. Man, typically we don't even put sealant there because I don't think you need it thanks to the rivets. So it's really up to you. I would use something cheap. I wouldn't go crazy because I think the rivet spacing, if you do it right, is like every 4 inches and you have a double row of rivets on the panels where they overlap. So I would use something relatively cheap like a Sikaflex 221 personally. I don't know how expensive the panel bond or the 3M 5200 is, but I would go with Sikaflex. I want to install solar on my shorty. Should I email you for Victron order? Oh, so yes, you should. Hit me up. There's a link to how to reach out to me in the description. Love to help you. Ice and air brake lines. That does happen. Good question. You can add de-icer to your air brake system. Although, to be honest with you, if you are draining your tanks daily and evacuating any moisture that accumulates in them, you really shouldn't have an issue with ice in your air brake lines unless it's a very extenuating circumstance. But that's a good thing to point out. I should have touched on that. Thank you for bringing that up. I found your tutorials on your bus helpful so far. What's up next for the tutorial schedule? Up next, I'll be showing you how to seal the roof on that school bus, and then I'm taking it out to Wichita to get a professional paint job done by my friend Wes, Dark Wolf Artisans, who's buying all my tools as well, and you'll see a video on that. I might also make a video about towing a trailer, installing or how to tow something with your school bus as well while I'm at it. May I ask if you are a licensed? Oh, it's MC, my favorite jerk off. I cannot wait. May I ask if you are a licensed contractors or ASE certified? MC, it will please you so much to know that I do not participate in the scam that is ASE certification, and I don't have to be a licensed contractor in the state of Colorado because I'm building things on wheels. I do carry a propane installer certification. We do carry full insurance at my shop, and I'm also AB. I also follow the ABYC protocols when we're doing wiring. And MC, I would seriously love come down and visit me, and we can have a skill off. It'll be like the Olympics, and we'll see who knows more about what. Because I know you're only here to try to bust my balls and prove to me that I don't deserve to tell people how to do things. And I'm flattered because it means a lot to me that you take time out of your day to engage with me. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your questioning and your comments. I know you want to be someone's hero, and I'm sure you'll find him if you keep on looking. Um, let's see. Cruise and Comfort makes a car AC, but it's like 6K. Yeah, I don't know much about that one, but I do see a lot of these new 12-volt DC ACs. Some of them are good, and a lot of them actually are engaging in a lot of false marketing, which is a huge bummer to me. And I have friends telling me about the issues they encounter with those, which I don't want to get into because they're not my lived experiences, but I know it's worth doing some research on those 12-volt ACs. And unfortunately, those are more of a van thing, so I don't have personal experience, and I wish I could help you. But I think you might have to keep looking to find a better opinion on how those work. So, um, he asked if he was certified with 13 question marks and followed with a no exclamation points. Zachary Taylor, thank you for being here. Oh, so you guys are my people. Hey, I'm here to engage the trolls. At the end of the day, building a school bus is the goddamn Wild West. There's no certifications or anything. All I can point to is the fact that I've been making a living off of school buses, either as a bus driver, running a bus company, the biggest private bus company in Colorado, okay, or building what I would say are some of the best professionally done school bus conversions in the last 5 years. That's my resume, and all of my clients will speak to it. And I carry full insurance, so if there ever is a problem, those people can get their money back if they need to, and that speaks for itself. And if MC wants to come down, I would love to have it would be really fun, I think, to do like a Schoolie Builders Olympics. It's like, okay, show me how you plumb this bus. Show me how you do a roof raise on this bus. Show me how to change the oil on this bus. Show me how you install a solar system. Show me how you weld up a gray water tank. Show me how you weld up the show me how you build cabinets. These are all things I can do. MC, come on down here. Show me what you got, buddy. I'm sure you're fucking awesome at whatever it is you do, and maybe it's only trolling, and that's fine. It's fine. So, anyways, regarding ice and air brake lines, may need to change your air dryer. Good point, Chance. Yeah, some newer buses do have air dryers built in. Like my bus doesn't. A lot of the old buses don't. But yeah, if you're getting ice buildup, it means your air dryer might not be working. Also, there is no harm in draining, at the bottom of your air tanks, draining them at least every day. You should drain them every day, every time you drive it. And there's no harm in draining them mid-trip. Um, Thank you, Regretless, for timing out MC. Although I would love to see, what the heck that guy is saying. Um, we got some good people here. What's the meaning of life, Chuck? I'll tell you what the meaning of life is as far as I can tell so far. Um, Try to bring people together, bring things together, collect the things that you think are special, and share them with people that you love, and don't let go of the people that are important to you. Chance, you're an ASE certified mechanic. You have other certifications. So, Chance, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I don't do this for the papers or the certifications because we're a little too alternative for most of the certifications out there. But what matters to me is making sure my clients are in the best hands possible. And anyone who knows me will tell you that I'm obsessed with research. I mean, my idea of a good night at home is watching YouTube videos and watching documentaries and watching scientific journals and reading scientific journals about how things work and how to do things better. That's all I care about, honestly. And yeah, I'm just out here doing my best. And if someone can do better, please show me how. I'm a learner, you know. Alexander Canswisher, hey buddy, good to see you. You used to work with us. Roof ACs suck. Yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Any cheap tips on finding repurposed newer sheet metal? That's tough, you know. Because I'm in a professional shop, labor is usually the most expensive part. So we're using new metal all the time. If you're gutting your bus, you're going to be removing a lot of sheet metal. A lot of that can be repurposed. Otherwise, it's hard to find good stuff. So sorry about that. Calipers are for measuring trolls. That comment of the year, you know? Although I think I need a caliper the size of a yardstick for that freaking guy. Meaning of life, love others as yourself. Yes, I'm all about that. Hey, I should tell you all. You know, I grew up. I got my degree in philosophy, so of course, you know, being a bus converter only makes sense. I care about truth, care about love, compassion, taking care of each other. Do we sell rivets? Jayco Studios, thank you for trying to support us. We are not a rivet supplier, but I will tell you, we get all of our rivets from Blind Rivet Supply or from Schoolie.com. Last I checked, Schoolie.com though was out of rivets. We are using Avdel Interlock rivets. It's like SSPI 08-06 or something like that. Um, Check them out. You'll find them there. But thanks for trying to support us. I really appreciate that. But sorry I can't help you. Um, yeah, we're just, you know, there's no money to be made off of supplying rivets, and honestly, you should save money by buying them straight from the source. So um, thank you for that very much. Um, Never off the clock, regretless. You know me. It's never too late to talk, bus. Support documentaries. I love documentaries. Live life or live fierce daily. Thank you for being here. Um, I'm very I'm very proud of the community that I belong to, and I really have no one to thank more than Regretless Alyssa for bringing me into her community, and then us sharing a community together. We have so many great friends. I'm really blessed. Erica, you're looking at buying a 40-foot Cummins engine with an Allison transmission. My question is 30K budget a healthy bus budget? I'm not sure if you're talking about just buying the bus or the whole conversion. First of all, that sounds like it's probably a very good drivetrain. So if it's in good shape, that's a good bus to buy. If you're hiring out the work to convert a 40-foot bus, you know, like we're expensive here because everyone at my shop has a college degree, and most of us, except for me, have a degree in something related to what we do. And we have a lot of experience doing it. So a 40-foot bus conversion from my shop is going to be probably over $100,000, and it's a big number. And I'm not embarrassed to say that. That's just the cost of doing custom manufacturing in Denver with college college graduates. We're very qualified and we'll do great work for you. If you're doing it yourself, you know, 30K is a bit tight depending on what you're doing. You know, the cool thing about bus conversions is you could gut the seats, throw some rugs and some couches in there, and be on the road for super cheap. Or you could hire me and spend over 100 grand and get something with a roof raise and solar, and you know all the bells and whistles. It's an amazing machine. They're amazing machines no matter what. So it's a spectrum. I wish I could give you a better answer, but thank you for the question, and thank you for being here. Um, let's see, cruising comfort AC on a video. Yeah, I don't. I wish I don't. I need to educate myself more about the 12-volt ACs. It's just more of a van life thing, and so I'm not super hip to it. So, um, should I increase the power on my 50 on my 5.9 Cummins, 37 foot? Well, if you can, you know, but it's hard to increase the power on those 5.9 Cummins once they have a computer. It involves getting a tune on there, and unfortunately, the diagnostic port on a school bus compared to like a Dodge pickup truck are different. So you can't just plug any old tuner in there. So I have to look into that. But yeah, Drain your air tanks. Yorkshire bus, where are you? I lost you. Um, there you go. That's great advice. Drain your air tanks daily. Back when I ran the bus company, even here in dry Colorado, that's one of my big pet peeves because moisture in the tanks will rust the tanks out. And if it gets cold, and it gets cold here in Colorado, if that moisture gets into the lines and gets into a line where when it freezes it can clog things up, it's going to create a ton of headaches. So um, drain your air tank. It's free. It's like get out there. A lot of buses just have a thing you can pull, like a line you can pull from the outside. It's not hard, and you should do it. So run that item number by me. I'm assuming you're talking about the rivets. They're Avdel interlock rivets, 1/4 inch. I don't do stainless. I think stainless is stupid. It'll fuck up your rivet gun, and you don't need it. Zinc plated steel is the way to go. And they're like SSPI. I don't even remember. I just know if you look up Abdel interlock 1/4 inch rivets, you're gonna find them. They come in two lengths. One is a good length for doing sheets to each other. The grip range is smaller, and sometimes like in the back and the front, you'll have to grip maybe 6 or 7 sheets of metal together. So you'll want the longer rivets, maybe 100 of those, and maybe 1,500 of the smaller ones. So, what pizza is my favorite? Right now tonight I'm gonna eat some Domino's pan pizza. Yep, not my favorite. There's a local place called Cart Driver that has amazing pizza. They're just a little out of my budget right now. Mark, thank you for catching me live, man. Thank you for being here, buddy. And sorry I've been inconsistent, but we're gonna be on him here. Ragtag Dirtbag. Oh, I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Rig rolled up in Christmas Blizzard. When do you suck it up and pay to fix, continue, and when should you total it out? Oh, your rig rolled. Oh man, boy, that's a tough question. If it rolled, it's almost always to just start over, depending on what you started with and how much you have in it. Any idea where gutted will be this year? God, that's a good question. I don't know. I know they're still figuring it out, but I've seen the first episode of the gutted that I was on, and I'm really excited for it. It wasn't even the final cut, so keep your eyes peeled. It'll be on Amazon Prime, and if you get a kick out of watching this, I know that you're gonna like watching that. That'll be a lot of fun. 12 valve mechanical. Oh, if you got a 12 valve mechanical, then just scoot that fuel plate forward and send it. On last week's video, do you need to disconnect your bus batteries before you start to weld on it? Tom, good question. Thank you for bringing that up. If your bus doesn't have a computer, you definitely don't need to. But even if it does, I've found that I've never had issues with this. That doesn't mean you should adopt my own cavalier attitude. Keep your grounding clamp, for starters, as close to the place you're welding as possible to prevent any currents from trying to run through, like the CPU. But the safest practice is if you are welding, disconnect the bus batteries. Although I don't really understand why, but because my understanding of electricity makes me believe that there's really no way that you could complete the welding circuit through the circuits of the bus ECU. But that's what old timers say, and God, if I ever did fry a computer by welding on it without disconnecting the batteries, I would feel like an idiot. But my understanding of electricity, which is deep and thorough, tells me that it should never actually be a problem. But yeah, so there you go. Avdel interlock 1/4 inch. That's right, Cindy Brown. Thank you. Change the air drain valves to one with a leash. That's right. Yeah. So like my bus, it's got the leash, which is cool. You just reach under and grab a string. And thank you, man. I've got like a really great comment section community because you guys are sharing some pretty awesome advice, and you're calling me out on stuff that I'm not mentioning because, of course, I can't say it all. So super cool. Thank you very much. Um, do you ever put a slide out in your school bus, Nathan? No. I'm not a big fan of slide outs, so I'll never do one. But if you want to do one, I know there are companies out there that make the hardware kits so you can install them pretty easily. Um, After we sing 50K in a bus, will insurance company reimburse you if you total in an accident? Good question, Raymond. And insurance companies will. You need to find one that will give you the actual cash value of the bus. And I know Regretless has that. State Farm offers that. Oh my God, we're so over time. I'm going to answer 3 more questions and I'm out of here. Because I was supposed to be done at 7. Can you make a bus that goes to the moon like Miss Frizzle? Kate Winslet, thank you. I loved you, by the way, in Titanic. You did a great job. Um, Unfortunately, I haven't yet figured out the intricacies of rocket propulsion. I'm kind of hung up on diesel engines. Um, Lone Star Epic Schoolies customers. Oh, my man, MC, you're back. Um, Welcome. We all missed you. Uh, I'm currently helping people who were victims of both Lone Star and Epic Schoolies um, get compensation for the damages they've been incurred. So thank you for finally giving us a relevant comment. Much appreciated, MC. There might be hope for you yet. On that fine note, I think I'm probably going to be. Oh, Jayco, good stuff from State Farm. Cool. Um, yeah, you definitely want Scott. You definitely want an Allison transmission with a lockup torque converter. That's going to help you. It's going to give you engine braking on all those things. Um, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to be getting out of here. But hey, everybody, thank you so much for being here. My name is Chuck Cassidy. Thank you for joining me when I shop tonight. And if you're interested in hanging out with me and some of my best bus conversion and bus life friends, make sure you find a way to make it out to the bus fair this summer in Oak Ridge, Oregon. There's links, of course, happening down here. And as always, be nice to each other. Take care of each other. We're going to see you next week, right? I hope. Okay, we'll see you then.